Hey everyone. So I'm going to be referencing an article, this one of the CBC News Ottawa, in regards to some of the bad actors, some of the corruption, and the bad behavior that compromise those who represent the federal government. Or that bureaucracy, you know, the deep state. Those people who none of us have ever elected, who don't seemingly have any understanding of what it is to be a public servant, and who we, as the general populace, the general public, have no way to hold them to account. Oh, you can complain, right? Or you can fill out a form, but we're talking about federal government here, folks. Have you ever heard about anyone in the federal government or these bureaucrats or these authoritarian pencil pushers? Have you ever heard about any area where they have been fired, punished, or penalized for their crazy behaviors? You know that's not the case. Every time you hear about this stuff is they get a slap on the wrist, a get out of jail free card, or they just have to come out and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Because, well, hey, they take their marching orders, they take their political cues from their political masters. And yeah, corruption, yeah, that starts at the top, and as we're seeing, permeates through the entire public sector, throughout that entire bureaucracy. And the only reason why we're seeing any reports on it now, well, you'll find out as soon as I get in the article. Headline, whistleblower tips expose federal workers behaving badly. PSPC employees caught taking drugs, awarding contracts to relatives. It's being reported by Gilliam Dumont, November 14th, 2018. 5 federal government workers in one department have been fired or reprimanded following complaints about their conduct made under whistleblower legislation. The misbehavior occurred within Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC, during the 2017-18 fiscal year, according to the department's website. Under law, the department is required to make certain details of the wrongdoing public. So under law is the only reason why they're reporting it. And you're probably only getting the very, very minimal reporting because this is probably all about PR and damage control. So this way they can satisfy the lawyers and all the legalese contained within their policy and say, hey, look, we reported on it, although it's much, much worse, and there's a lot more stuff we should be reporting on, but hey, at least we can say reported on it, right? Now, that's just my subjective opinion. I have no proof of this, but, I mean, come on, folks. It seems like a pretty plausible explanation, doesn't it? In one case, 2 temporary employees used a cannabis derivative at work and provided it to other casual workers. Both employees were fired, the department wrote. So, like, okay, so once again, now we're going to get it. These were probably lowly nobodies, right? Like, just, I don't know, at the ones at the very bottom rung of this institution or these public sector institutions, because if they had any power, sway, or influence, you wouldn't be hearing about this stuff. You know that's true. Anyways, let's continue on. Another employee was found to have participated in the hiring of her spouse as a casual worker. The woman then tried to use her position to have her spouse hired on for longer and got involved in other aspects of their employment, the department wrote. Corrective actions are being taken in that case, but the department has not said what those measures are. So even when we're here so far, we don't still know. It's still up in the air. But once again, like I say, I think what this is, and I suspect this is, well, this is kind of the way these authoritarian central planning hacks work, right? They'll throw their lowest subordinates under the bus as a pretense to show that, hey, look, we're at least fighting against corruption or bad actors. Meanwhile, we know who the real bad actors are. I mean, come on. These few people or whatever that they're throwing under the bus so that they can kind of give some perception to the Canadian public that, oh, at least we're being accountable. At least we're holding the people that are under our employ to account and making sure they're responsible, right? Like I say, this is more like a PR campaign than an admission of genuine corruption that we know is definitely part and parcel of what it is to be involved in big government. I mean, come on. I mean, like I say, look to my past videos if you even want to know, like, just the very fundamental aspects of what government is and how that plays out, how it even comes to form and exist, and how they dictate, control, and micromanage the social and economic lives of millions of people. These are already authoritarian sociopaths and control freaks by their very nature. So, like I say, is this the best they can give us? I don't think so. Now, this is a PR campaign, which is why, yeah, I just wanted to let you know that, yes, of course there's corruption happening, and I guess the media is at least somewhat reporting on it. But It's only to throw those who are on the lowest rung in these institutions or these bureaucracies. Yeah, they're willing to throw them under the bus, but are they going to hold themselves to a high standard, to a high bar as far as morals and ethics? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it so far since I've been alive. I'm still waiting, although I'm not going to hold my breath. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.